Welcome to Clean Cut Conversations, the podcast for exceptional Southern Black men. Join us as we delve into vital topics, including mental health, relationships, finance, self-care, and entrepreneurship. Welcome to Clean Cut Conversations, a podcast for exceptional Southern Black men. I'm your host, Josh Lovett, with my co-host,
Royce Massengill, baby.
And today, we have a special guest for you, Mr. Tarrance Brown, Archangel. He's a music artist, an entrepreneur, an overall great man from Memphis, man. You should get to know him. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and bring him on the show. Come on, let's do this. So, Ark, man, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Are there any upcoming projects that you would like to share for our audience members?
No. Anyway, but I'm doing a couple of singles and everything else, working on some avenues to do those type of things, as well as talking to a lot of sync licensing agencies to get older songs that may be new to other people, the older me that may be new to other people,
Correct.
in spaces that they should be appropriated in. Get a little money off of them. And also, I've done some songs that Royce reminded me about.
Okay.
I did it with Kingpin. He has the little trifecta that he's working on right now. The project is called Kill Shot. It's Friday Black, Virgos, and Jay Discreet. Okay. I ended up being on the Sawtooth 2. I hope I'm saying it right. Song. And by the way, I heard what you said. That's kind of angry. By the way, I heard what you said.
Yeah.
There's Virgos and Kingpin's project. I was on the marathon song on that one. So shout out to, Kingpin. You call him Ro. And Virgos, because they always be calling me to do something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Them two people call me the most to do stuff. Because most don't. And I appreciate that.
So you broke away from being a traditional musician that just goes performs to someone that just performs in movies, in films. Do you like that better?
Yeah, because if you listen to the projects that I've done, because I remember when I first met all of you guys, when I did that release party in Nashville, that was like 2010
Rutledge.
or something like that.
2013 on the
2013.
decades,
Okay. Everything I do as far as my music is movie thing.
Nice.
So most people just do what's relatable in the time era or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, if it's able to sound like it fits somewhere, then it'll last. So that's been my perspective and project analyzing for a lot of this stuff.
That's crazy because when I talk to you, since you're driven by just films, when you make your tracks, like I asked you, we talked about your first mixtape. Yeah. And I remember you telling me, you're like, I'm not speaking in my environment because that's not where I'm at no more.
Exactly.
See, some people are in a great environment, but they're still talking like they're in that environment.
Right.
So do you feel that you have became a real artist or an artist, a progressive artist at that?
At this point, like after I did my actual album that took me almost 17 years to do, I do now, because now doing music is not for a scapegoat. It's truly for the art. What can I do to add this piece in for it to actually sound like it's done in an artistic fashion?
That's interesting, man. Like I was speaking of like with Memphis and stuff like that. You being from Memphis, that I was telling you before. When you go in there, when you go in Memphis, for me, when I go there, soundtracks already come in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, without finding, if I don't turn on the 97, you know what I'm saying? If I don't have that on, it's just there's this aura about Memphis when you drive through there. I just be hearing. I was telling them, I be hearing 3/6 songs and instrumentals and snare drums and stuff like that. And you're looking around as you're coming in through 40, and you just, I don't know. It's just. I like the vibe. I like the vibe in Memphis, and I guess a segue to be with that, like, it's a pretty big musical influence.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The history of it, like the blues. Like, what about the blues on that? Like, there's some there's between Memphis and I would say New Orleans, Kansas City, with their origins of the blues or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Most people overlook Kansas City though.
They do.
Yeah, they definitely do. Most people don't know anything about Kansas City except for Tech 9.
Yeah,
that's it. Nobody looks at anything else.
Yeah, and I wonder how, you know what I'm saying, like how blues. I wonder how. I just want to know how it really just began with that. I mean, I know you didn't grow up in the blues era, you know what I'm saying, but like in that Memphis time, like, you know, how influential was Memphis in the blues? You feel
but
what I'm
it
saying?
does make up 20%. Keep in mind, of America's top blues musicians is Memphis.
And see, that's something I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Right. So, like, according to that, like let me ask you something. Like, how did that influence your overall musicality? Like, how did that bring the artist out of you? Because some people like me, sometimes, like, I listen to Southern music, right?
Yeah.
But I like a lot of West Coast music.
Oh, of course. The hyphy.
The hyphy. See, so like with you stayed true to your native nature, but at the same time, I've seen you branch out to more like, I could hear it in DC, your style. I can hear just different.
I think my thing was getting back to what you talk about with blues. Most people don't think of the emotion that comes with blues.
Yeah.
Blues is what's soulful. It's heartfelt.
Yeah.
And a lot of individuals don't like making mood music like that to that extent because it puts people in spaces that they may not be comfortable in. You know what I'm saying? Because blues, look what it says, blues.
Yeah.
And most of the time when somebody says I'm blue, it's sad. You know, so people don't like to be put in those spaces unless, you know, some heartbreak go on and then they start listening to sad songs and all of this. Right. And they don't see the essence of how this can make you alter from being this high to this low.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of it. When you're able to do things like that, I can make happy music, but I can make this music too to make you sit back and think on what's been going on with your life. I think that plays a part because a lot of people are not able to do that.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to have that relatability. They want to seem like there's something that you can't touch.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the thing that happens with that one.
Oh, that's a bad.
So let me ask you another question. So when it comes to blues and country music, they kind of
they're hand in hand.
So
they're hand in hand.
when you think of Memphis and you think of Nashville, can you really integrate those two sounds?
I think you can, but it's a clash though. That's the thing, because I think of country music because country music tells a true story. You know what I'm saying? Blues music, it tells its story, but it's more in the mood of it.
Yeah.
Country is more telling the story of how things came about. I really think country music is upbeat blues.
I feel
if you look at it.
Yeah.
So attempting to slow this down, put more of an instrumental feel into it would make it clash because think about it. Blues is slower.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I got the BPM in my head right now. The country.
Yeah, it's like you listen.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, this is a little faster.
Yeah,
but they're talking about stuff.
The same thing. Lost my baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it's more upbeat.
Yeah.
And here's a funny thing. I'm gonna go off of a song. I think there was it the Blue Notes? I think it was the Blue Notes with Teddy Pendergrass. The love I love. You see how up tempo they was, but it's a sad song. True. When you start looking at the lyrics of, you like, why am I so happy with this going on? Because people wanted to balance feeling bad with upbeat, so somebody wouldn't be so in their feelings, and it's crazy. And that's the only way I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
If we talked about blues and country, it would have to clash in a way that people wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of Kid Cudi's music. Like that pursuit of happiness. I remember when he was going through rehab, he's like, "That's a dark song."
Yeah,
He's like, that's a dark song, but they come out, getting hype, and he's like, "That's a really dark song that I wrote in a really dark time."
Right.
And I'm thinking, think of blues. Yeah, I kind of think of that, but then that's that country. Yeah, upbeat, because it's like they made EDM tracks to it. They've done stuff, and
it makes you wonder if that beat for Pursuit of Happiness was their original one. Because, you know, you know what I'm saying? They were like, hey, man, it's a little, we're going to have to change the beat up at least. The lyrics is cool, though. But you said Pursuit of Happiness, so we're at least going to give them a happy beat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You got to find a happy medium in it.
It's kind of like how you be doing. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You just have a drum pattern and then we write something. And then when you hear the lyrics, you incorporate, you know, the sound that correlates with the lyric. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if, you know, if it's like that sometimes. You know what I mean? With songs that we just speak about like that, man.
But funny thing you brought up that I believe that because of K. Michelle, I believe that R&B singers are easier to gravitate to country music than blues is able to be country.
I agree.
Because she should have been a country singer anyway.
Yeah.
Because of her voice. She has the country.
She does. It's
singer. Right, so she should have been a country singer at the beginning. Yeah. I think they had
still talk about the same stuff she talked about.
Exactly.
That would be dope.
Yeah. So I believe that was her go-to route that she should have had it first. But they probably made her feel like she had to do the R&B thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because it attracts a black audience. Let's be straight up, because Whitney Houston had that issue. Yeah. She had a bigger white audience. Yeah. And then she's like, I need to, hold on, what do you mean I have a bigger white audience? I'm from the hood. I'm from this. And then now she's going through like some type of identity crisis. Right. Or racial crisis, racial identity crisis. But back to music overall, like, you know, Memphis, here's the thing, like, Memphis, to me, it's like Atlanta here. I'm not going to compare it, but I'm just saying when it comes to black people coming together. Yeah. Here in Nashville, it's like we can't come together for nothing on a hip hop cultural standpoint, because country music, we always have to do features with a twang in order to get it to that market. Meanwhile, you come out with Glorilla. Right. Y'all give her a 3/6 like vibe, and it still keeps it. The root is still there. Yeah. And I appreciate Memphis for that. Like, because, you know, is it true? Let me ask you something. Okay. When it comes to Memphis, like, who's the real originator, Memphis or Houston? Because I've heard that.
Which part?
Okay. I've heard Houston stole some things from Memphis, and Memphis says that, or Houston says y'all stole some things from them. Because Memphis and Houston music, H-Town music is.
I see where you're going with that one. I'll say that the singing part of doing music is Houston. Okay. Because we got Pimp C, we got Zero, and all of that from H-Town doing that. You know they were gonna do some type of singing somewhere. Right. You know what I'm saying? But flipping off of that, we were the crunk ones. Like crunk.
I'm glad you said that. I was getting ready to bring it up.
We were the crunk ones.
Because Atlanta was trying to claim
Atlanta stole it from the Buck part of it. We were there. Because you listen to 3-6, who the crunk is in it? Automatic. Tear the club up. When they went to Atlanta doing that song, everybody got scared.
Because when I heard Crime Mob, I thought that was of some artists from Memphis at first. Yeah. I think that was Gangsta Boo and them.
Wow, it does sound
Nuck
like
if you buck, right?
Yeah, right. That's us.
Yeah.
Stiletto, pumps. That's us. What? Yeah, that is literally us. They were like, we know how to monetize this. So we're gonna do it. Because Memphis don't see what they got. And that's what happened. You know, so a lot of the things that we were able to do, other people saw it and saw the dollar signs behind it and acted on it. We didn't. Because everybody in Memphis is like, well, I'm just as talented as you. So what next? Everybody has a gift there. So nobody looks at it like, well, let's work this out so we can create an avenue to give us a standing power. Everybody goes out. You see everybody leaves. Take off. Oh, y'all from Memphis. oh, we need that.
Yeah.
We ain't heard that before. We ain't did this. Yes, because they got it. You leave with it. It doesn't mean that you left the it here. It went with you.
That's true.
So does Memphis actually have any like implant artists that are not from Memphis but claim Memphis?
No.
That's crazy.
I
That's
didn't know
crazy.
NLE Chopper was from Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a different. He doesn't have a Memphis vibe in his song.
He doesn't.
Or am I missing
You
something?
go listen to older music that he's done. You'll hear it.
Word?
Yeah.
Okay. You get ready to say something, though.
No, I was thinking about just the implant because, like Nashville, we've had some implants. Hell, we had an artist called Vills.
Yeah, he came from Florida.
Wow.
But he's called Vills.
Yeah.
We ain't had
See,
that.
y'all wouldn't have do nothing like that. That's what I'm saying. Memphis always stays true to its nature when it comes to its musicality, man. I respect that because there's too many implants in the game. And I feel with Nashville, it's like I said, no offense to Jelly Roll and them, but like he's a native. But to me, it just showed me with Vills that when it comes to implants, we're willing to accept somebody from another area to represent our city and not have locals represent the city. We had Starlito. We have all these people. If anybody, Jelly Roll, don't get me wrong, they hip hop, and now he's country.
Yeah.
But now Starlito, when it comes to hip hop, he was touring. He was funding his own tours and everything.
Still doing that.
And still doing that. Much, respect to him, man. Shout out to him.
He just dropped a project.
Yeah.
See, he's always been consistent. And that's what I'm saying, especially in Nashville, and what I respect about Memphis. Is the fact that y'all, it's kind of like Atlanta. When I say you support your artists, but although Atlanta has had some implants in there, a lot of
how they've been lately,
right? A lot of implants. But when it comes to Memphis, y'all are not really willing to sell out your culture.
Oh no, they usually go somewhere else. We usually implant somewhere else, just like you said. We go somewhere. We go to Atlanta. We go to Cali. We go to Florida, this, that, and other. But we never say we from there. The only person that did that, no, he was the biggest one. Producer Jazzy Faye. When he went to Atlanta, he acted like he wasn't from Memphis.
I didn't know he was from Memphis.
Yes,
Jazzy Faye.
from Memphis.
Just got reminded,
him, Drummer Boy, all them folks.
Okay.
Memphis. You know what I'm saying? But when they go somewhere, they close their mouth so they can move and claim the area. But soon as Memphis gets hype and big and gets celebrated, I'm from Memphis, my family's still there.
Yeah, you start finding out them FYIs.
Why didn't you say that at first? What were you afraid of? You were afraid they was going to kick you out? No, you already got a staple stepped in whatever place you in. But you don't want to own it. It's no different than how, what's our boy? Usher was at first, claiming it Atlanta all the time. But now he's older. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
He's like by way of Chattanooga.
Right.
Because he has a whole street in Chattanooga named after him.
Yeah.
Really?
That's where he's from.
Yeah.
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that
they wouldn't
until
know.
as of late.
Yeah. The only time I remember him saying that, I went to a 8701 concert when I was working for 106 at the time. And I remember him saying, hey, shout out to Tennessee. Y'all, a lot of y'all don't know I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I said, what?
Yep.
Ain't no way. And he got some kin folks in Winchester too, Tennessee. Yeah. But that's interesting because with the Jazzy Faye thing, I didn't know that. But now, I know I've been knowing it for a while. But when I found out, I started going in the Rolodex to like Tila and producing, and then even the sound still got that blong, blong, blong. You know what I mean? It's still I'm like, okay, Jazzy, that's interesting.
Why were you afraid to say you from there? Even when 8Ball then went to Suave House and everything else, they never denied that they weren't from Memphis. They said they were from Memphis all the time.
Dang.
So what do you feel, Ark, is the psychology behind that? Is it like an identity? Is it a cultural identity issue?
I think it's an identity crisis and the fact that a lot of us don't feel like we'll be accepted somewhere else if we say where we from. And the reverse on that is when we go somewhere and say where we from, people invite us in.
That's true.
So I don't know why we have this imposter syndrome when it comes to that. Because I'm like, even when I did this is some years back, like 2015, 2016. I did Team Backpack in New York, in Manhattan. I had a Memphis shirt on and everything else, and everybody was expecting a certain sound from me when I went up there and did stuff.
Yeah.
And after I got off the stage, it was like, bro, where? Oh, you from? They wanted to ask where I was from. Then they see my shirt.
Yeah.
You from Memphis? Yeah. Man, we need to connect and do all of this and everything else. I'm like, I didn't feel I did anything different.
Yeah.
But for them to hear somebody deliver in that fashion, in that space, from the certain type of culture that New York has, I was like, wow, this is different. And I appreciated it, but I was just like, y'all don't think people can rap somewhere else?
I mean, you know,
That kind of reminds you of Tupac, though.
Yeah.
People didn't know Maryland.
Yeah,
but then he's the West Coast.
Yeah.
And it just
he
worked.
adapted that as soon as he moved there.
I know he's the West Coast till I
golly,
die.
dang, bro,
You ain't say New York nowhere.
I know, right? And he tried to do the Death Row East. I remember he tried to.
Yeah, he was trying
but then
to merge
Bad
that.
Boy was just too heavy
It was so
with
deep in
Biggie
that,
and stuff
man.
like that. But like, let's just move on. You know, besides music, because we could sit here and talk about music all day long.
All day, man.
So let me ask you something, like, because you were involved in the military service.
Yeah.
So post 9/11, military enlistment increased by nearly 10%. That's a fact. What drove you to join during such a critical period?
Well, I said since the 6th grade I was going to go. So I've been one of those people who say things and fall in line with it. I said in the 6th grade, I graduated school, went to the military. Yeah. Went to the same one that I said I was going to go to.
What branch?
Marines.
Okay.
I was
all right.
I was confused at how I timelined it myself.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, I did say this in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the Marines.
Oh, wow.
I went. I was like, okay, so I have to watch what I say.
Right.
Because if I don't watch what I say, I end up doing it anyway, inadvertently, because I planted the seed. Right. So now when it comes to different things, I'm like, before I utter it, know about this one. Let me think this through before I say something. Right. So that ended up being my thing. I didn't even look at it from the standpoint of people wanting to protect their country, you know, because I think that was the bravado with a lot of people. Right. They wanted to protect their country from, you know, terrorist attacks and everything else. I'm not gonna get into that detail on that one, but that I think that was the guilty conscience for a lot of people to end up getting into the military.
So it wasn't about the bonus money.
I ain't see no bonus money. Now, if I would have went to the Air Force or I think it was certain parts of the Army, I probably would have seen the bonus. Yeah. But I went to the worst one. I just signed my life away. That's it. You won't sign this paper.
When you say worst one, what's that?
Yeah,
that
Marines.
branch?
Yeah, that branch is the
right.
worst one. We the first ones in, the last ones out.
I dig it. Y'all the ground troopers. Man.
Yeah. So I just pretty much said I'm willing to die for people who don't give a damn about me, for lack of words.
Damn. But there you go with that. There you go with that.
Wow. So like where you are in your life, do you feel that the military history that you've had, the experience, contributed?
Oh yeah, without question.
How so?
Because knowing when to potentially cut off, go cold turkey on certain things, that comes from that. Knowing how to stay in alignment with a lot of things. Carrying out duties, if you will, that comes with it. So giving those type of tools and direction helps me in regular life.
So let me ask you something. Cutting cold turkey, why do you feel that's an issue? Even today, I guess you see people, the music industry is about relationships. But why must one learn how to cut someone off cold turkey?
If it doesn't serve either one of you, why are you still there? Most people don't look at that. And I need to. We've had a long-lasting relationship. The relationship expired years ago, but you're still hanging on. Why?
Yeah.
What is it? Because it's never the other person, it's you. Half of the time, they've already allowed it to be. Yeah. They just respond to you just to get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And you're the one still holding on because you think something serves a purpose. And it's already expired.
Wow. So it's kind of like, so do you feel that like high school reunions?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Do you even go to them?
No,
or?
Not at all.
You had no connection with no,
like I talk to people. I'm an individualist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not one of the crowd people. It's funny. I do music. And
I
like crowds. I'm like, I like to have personal relationships with people individually.
Yeah.
Because collectively, people start doing cliques and all of this type of stuff. You start seeing a person leave their innate nature for the sake of a group. And I'm like, yeah, that's not who you are. I'm good on you. Because you couldn't be yourself within a group.
Yeah.
You had to be the whole group. There's no individuality. I don't rock too well with that type of thing. You can't be yourself. Because I'm like, let's say, for instance, if all three of us are somewhere, we'll talk about what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And if it works collectively for us, individually, we'll do it. But if it doesn't work for all of us collectively, you'll be like, well, no, you can go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, being able to still have your ability to move without somebody is what people are incapable of doing. Not everybody, but some people are incapable of doing because they want to satisfy the people that they're around. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
That's
so your network is like they say your network is your net worth. But at the same token, your network has to make sense to your way of living.
Absolutely.
Because it's a battle then. It's like, well, why do you keep this individual here?
Right.
He doesn't do no music. Right. He drinks all the time. I'm a healthy person now.
Right.
You know, he may smoke all the time. I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
So, but yet I'm still holding on to this relationship. And I have to ask myself, why?
And a lot of people, the biggest word is loyalty. Yeah. We've invested so many years. And? Are those years, because I started asking the question, are those years now?
Ooh.
No. What are y'all? Because my thing is this. You have to ask yourself this. As the person you are now, if you were just introduced to this person, would you keep a relationship with them? If your answer is no, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Because most people don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
Because when you change the person that you are, you're a health conscious person, you're doing this, that, and the other, making your life more of what it should be for the sake of you.
Yeah.
And this person is still on the same trail. How do y'all meet in the middle?
So what do you think about, like, let's talk about the politics right now.
Okay, let's go.
What do you think about when politicians try to reach a mass way of audience instead of being like, you know what, if you believe in this system, y'all need to move on this side. Instead, they try to convert people over. And to me, like, based on what you're saying, like, you're an artist, right? So let's throw this stat in here. So they said 70% of artists said that their personal identity is deeply intertwined with their artistic persona, right? So at the same token, do you try to persuade people to think the way you think to get? So you don't, because you know, music, they say it can be narcissistic.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. And you need to think the way I think. You need to use the terminology I use. Look at Snoop Dogg. I love him to death, but for shizzle and then we started using that in our grammar. You know, bling and anything else. And I'm just wondering, like, you know, based on he had written here in this question, like, why do you prioritize being a man first and the artist second? Like, do that narcissism, does it?
Yeah, because most people, you know, they get consumed by who they are as an artist. When you meet them, you meet the persona. You don't meet the person. You only meet who they are to everybody else because they don't want you to see who they truly are. A lot of these artists aren't as happy as they seem. When you see them outside of it, away from all of the veils that's put up, you're like, you're not okay, huh?
Yeah.
What's going on? They don't want people to know personally they need help. They want to look good to everybody else because that's the impression that, for lack of words, quote on society makes it. You're interesting because you have yourself together.
So that goes on with your name too. So Archangel, right?
Yeah.
And so it's got several meanings. One is more biblical.
Yeah.
The other one is more like, like they call like an angel investor, the successful, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to answer it for you because I feel like I know what you're going to say.
Come on, talk to me.
I mean, to me, I was like, okay, the type of person Archangel is, like, he's a deep thinker. There's always an entendre somewhere.
Right, because when you say Archangel, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, people get mystique or
they're like, hold on, bro. Like,
and all this. Yeah, they do that.
What, based off, just as far as what I saw what Archangel was and just, from a biblical sense and then from a successful investor type thing, did you name yourself that because of you are two of those things, or which ones do you carry the most out of that?
Which side do you lean on?
Yeah.
It's both of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I figured.
It couldn't be
the
it
entendre.
couldn't be one other.
Yeah.
It has to be both because here's the funny thing. Before my name, I was invested into X-Men. Mm-hmm. Let's
nice.
Just make that clear.
Okay.
Because
you
forgot about Archangel when it came to that. I didn't think about that one when I first started because my name before this was Nightcrawler.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was
invested.
You look like you be a Nightcrawler.
I know.
With them shades on too.
Like, no, because think about it. When we go to events, Ark be there and be gone.
Yeah, man. Like, where does he go? What did happen?
Yeah.
And he'll be just showing up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like the least place you would expect him to show up is like,
I
do know you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you got here, but I know you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he be teleporting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was my name beforehand, but then I ended up scratching it. I said, man, whatever name I'm supposed to have, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Boom, boom, boom. That name came. I started researching. I said before I use it, I need to research. One of the gatekeepers, hierarchies, and everything else. One of the successful movements in mental depth and all of that. So I was like, oh yeah, this plays a part. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Then here comes one of my partners. That's an X-Men, right? It's like, oh, you right. The one that had the metal talents that shot. Okay, cool. So I was like, okay, well, it can play both hands.
Yeah.
So it was good with that one. Yeah.
And I knew I had to do something with it. With two things at least.
Yeah.
But in real life though, you are, you know what I'm saying? You are a successful, you know what I'm saying, investor in yourself and others. You have good, business lingo, you know what I'm saying, which I assume we'll lean into that in a minute. As an artist, for Archangels, and now that we got that on that part, as far as Archangel, you said something about your first album took you 17 years.
My album is the last project that I did.
No.
Yes, not the EP that y'all seen.
Well, no, not even that. Yeah.
Yes, it took me that long because I was like, this has to be a depiction of what I viewed hip hop as.
You did a Dr. Dre on this.
Yeah, it took 17. The first song on there, ADG produced it. He down here in Nashville. Y'all might have to connect with him too. He did that joint when he was still in Memphis. I think my son will be 21 this year. So he was like 5 or 6.
Dang.
He did that track a long time ago because I was listening to the Art of Storytelling.
Yeah.
From Outkast.
Yeah, on that drama mixtape.
And I told him because he has that innate production of Memphis, that snare and everything else that you talk about. He is that guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, look, I want you to make me a track, no hi-hats, no snares, none of that. And he made it. And that's the one that stood for years.
Yeah.
Before I actually dropped, because I dropped it in 2021.
Yeah.
But for it to be that long ago and to be on there and people be like, oh, this new, ain't it? No.
So you held on to that beat for like 15 years or more?
Yes.
Dang, that's great.
Wow. So let me ask you something. Like, you're heavy into films.
Yes.
And you make your music your template is based off of films, basically.
True.
What film was going through your mind during that album?
It's a medley of them because I ended up looking at. I look at how things are operated, so I couldn't particularly put it on one.
Well, give me 3.
Wow, that's tough. That was a good question. Dang.
Shoot from the hip.
Yeah, man. I told you do it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's from.
I
got something in mind. Go ahead.
No, you do? Okay.
No. Go ahead.
I'm wait on that when it comes.
Go ahead.
If I look at it from the viewpoint of moving, I would say 300. I would say Pursuit of Happiness. What else would I say?
Were there any Quentin Tarantino influences?
Kill Bill.
Okay. Because there's a story you were telling about something. I forgot. It was something. You were in the bathroom or something. Something. I can't forget how you were saying. Something. Or, yeah.
That's why I said Pursuit of Happiness, because when a guy has to look at himself and be like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And nobody is. That's that Got to Get My Thoughts Together song. I get in a room with people, they say, yeah, it's cool, but you don't have this.
Yeah.
And looking at yourself in the mirror and not really seeing you. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
And I've broke one of the songs, I changed it to numeral numbers, but it was called My Thoughts. I think I ended up changing that one to 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
That song, when I first made it, because it ended up coming out off of a mixtape that I did a long time ago, we ended up Triz of the Machine, Triz Money. He ended up remaking it because we went through years remaking this song again.
Yeah.
We remade it. He said, I got to change the mood on this one.
Yeah.
It has to really have that essence. And the guy named Andrew played the keys on it again for him. And he felt it better then. And Crown mixed the joint. I'm always talk about my folks when they do stuff.
Yeah.
We ended up changing. I never changed the words.
Yeah.
I changed the delivery.
Okay.
Because the delivery was, when I first did it, I was younger.
Yeah.
Now that I'm more of an adult and know how to decipher and move the vocals in a way, I changed it to being hurt. I did that song on, I think it was midnight of a new year in 2020.
Was it when you were night crawling?
Oh, no.
Okay.
It was after that. But when I redid it that time, I did it. It was like New Year's. I went into the studio with Big D at that time, and I did 4 songs. That was one of them. Did that one because we had all the singers come over there or whatever the next day. I changed how I delivered it so a person could really feel like I was in a space that was messed up.
Yeah.
So knowing how to do that, you have to really study and listen to people. And most people don't do that. I'm like, in order for me to say that I'm an artist, a hip hop artist, I have to study hip hop.
Yeah.
And most people don't.
Thank you for saying that.
Right. You have to study it.
Golly. Just I ain't got a problem with this new music. I just got a problem with the mentality. Like, if y'all would just pay a little homage and just go back and look at the history of it. Not to say that you gotta boom bap it. I mean, you have an appreciation of the art.
Absolutely.
And that could help with your creativity. And you got references, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And I feel that like a lot of producers and beat makers, because we got to distinguish the two.
I got you.
Because some of them, sometimes they get merged, but producers can be a DJ Khaled or you can be a drummer boy. Yeah. But I feel that a lot of producers, since AI has come into the picture, a lot of these, hold on, you laughing? A lot of these beat makers out here put things on a template. And it's like, they liked it. I could hear them in the back. They like that music. This is the type of music they like right here. They want the drum pattern. And it just seems so like formulated,
Right?
Yeah, of course.
and it's no longer like from the soul. It just seems like it's cookie cutter. In other words,
they want the money. It's not for the love of the art, because I'm not gonna just call it music. It's art.
do you want to share your story? Well, join us at Clean Cut Conversations. Let's talk mental health, relationships, finance, self-care, and entrepreneurship. Your voice matters, so let's make a difference together. Welcome back to the show, man. If you really want to be on this show, just email us. Contact us, clean and cut combos at gmail.com, and we will answer out to your response, and hopefully we can bring you on the show and you can share your story. And now we're back, though. Dun, 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 dun. But nah.
It's too funny.
But now we was talking about what were we talking about before we?
It was we were talking about the art part of it, the subjectiveness of it.
Okay.
But really,
You had a question though.
yeah. I did, so it was a question I was going to throw in there, like because you were mentioning about this, what you were attracted to.
During
When
this
I say
EP.
attracted, yeah, you're talking about the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, explain that again for me. Like you was
Okay. The best way to explain it, upbringing.
yeah.
The upbringing wasn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to discard anybody or to point fingers or this, that, and the other, because everybody only knows how to deal, respond, and react based off of their upbringings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't hold any hard to anybody at this point.
Uh-huh.
But looking at it, you only get the responses of, like, especially if your grandmother or your mother is angry,
Mm-hmm.
the responses you get are the reactions they wanted to give to somebody that they had to fall in line with.
Right.
So you're getting the pain off of that from them.
Mm.
So people can't say that you don't know nothing about segregation. Well, I get the anger that you had from that.
Right.
You only give it to me because you couldn't give it to them.
Mm.
You've been holding on to that, so now it's expressed to me.
Yeah.
So I do feel it.
Yeah.
Why am I getting hurt in this manner?
Right.
That hurts me, but you don't see it because you're just letting off stuff. It's rapid fire. You're the innocent bystander,
Yeah.
for lack of words. Even though I may have done something wrong, it shouldn't have been responded to that way. So being a person who grew up with grandmothers, one of my grandmothers was extremely loving. My other grandmother was somewhat of a dictator, but she gave me a lot of intel that I use at this point. Seeing that, and when I was with my moms and stuff, you didn't see, like, people were married, but you didn't see the happiness in the marriage. You seen I don't even know, it just seemed like clashing.
Yeah.
It's like you're supposed to be able to see how they work well together.
Yeah.
And all you see is the differences being the catalyst for all the responses. So you see chaos at home.
Yeah.
So me, all I knew
Yeah.
was chaos. So when I started dating, talking to women, I didn't realize what I was looking for was what I initially saw. Chaos. So yeah, the women may look good, but as soon as you get behind closed doors, it's fireworks.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something, not to cut you off, but
No,
like
talk
when
to
you
me.
ran into a peaceful woman, did that scare you? Or did you even know what peace was?
That's a good question.
When I ran into a structured woman
Okay.
who had direction, I messed it up because
That's real.
all I know is chaos.
Yeah.
So somebody coming to me lying properly, I don't know what to do. I'm finna mess this up, this self-sabotage. I'm finna mess this up because I wasn't prepared for it. And I didn't mentally prepare for it. I prepared for it after.
Yeah.
And even in the midst of me dealing with other women after that, my mindset was, this is where I want to be. And getting to the space of where you want to be is frightening. because what you're used to versus what you're in now, this far apart. Mm-hmm. And that space right there, that void, you don't know how to fill it up. And you're trying to figure out how you fill it up. And if you're focused on moving past what you are used to, it's a long fight. That's all I can say. Because most people, they go back to what they're used to and throw it in there.
Right. So when it comes to like Black Americans, you know, we all majority of us come from struggle.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And you got double on you too. Because it's Filipino and all.
Right.
All of it.
But like, let me ask you something. So, and this goes for you too.
Yes.
Coming from struggles, points.
Yes.
So, do you ever feel bad for the people that were organized and structured and tried to organize you, and you felt like you brought chaos to their world?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
So, okay, because I'll be wondering if people even feel bad about that. It's like, nah, she's just another one I knocked off. But then that's why I was telling, like, when it's like a pattern. It's a generational trauma and curse. It's like you were venting on her.
Yeah.
And she didn't understand why. Are you venting? I'm trying to bring structure to your life. I'm trying to cook for you. I'm trying to do stuff.
Why is everybody looking at the sky right now or looking somewhere?
No, because I'm me too.
Yeah,
I never understood it, and that's what I feel with our people. Is we're so that's a vice for us.
Yeah,
it's struggle, chaos.
We think that struggle allows us to become a better person,
and that's what 50 Cent said in his book. He said that Black people, we are addicted to struggle. We are addicted. That's our vice. So when it comes to power, you know, he didn't do it the right way.
Yeah.
There was a lot of...
Yeah.
But see, we love that. We love the Scarfaces.
Yeah.
But Scarface didn't earn that money the right way. He tried... We saw he didn't last long in dishwashing.
Right.
He said, man, fuck this shit, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's the fact that we love the struggle aspect of dealing drugs and the women that came with it. The prostitutes and all that, and just the overall mentality of like power.
Yeah.
Like I could literally off this person without even touching this person.
Yeah.
And I feel that our community thrives off of that. And it's sad because, like you said, you were so addicted to it to the point that you couldn't see structure at all. You were blind. You were like Ray Charles when it came. You know, you were playing around it.
That's true.
And that's crazy, man, when you said that. And like, so let's talk about the music, because that first EP was like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. And then I had to reflect after hearing what you just said, I have to reflect on myself and why I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I liked it so much. And I like the new stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why did I like that? Whenever I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move on, and yet I still like, no, I want to go time travel. I want to be back that OG, because you get like that too.
I be thinking about, some cheeks or something like that. Like those cheeks were wonderful, but I be forgetting about the mental. See, I'm even going in it. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It makes me.
But you told me though, like, okay, when you see what is that movie with your boy Daniel Kaluuya? It's at Slim and
Queen.
Slim and Queen. Okay, you remember that movie, right?
Oh yeah.
When you said when they had sex in the car,
oh man,
you felt that.
Yeah.
Out of all the porn you've watched, I'm gonna throw it out there. Out of all the porn you've watched, she's like Slim and Queen. That moment, it was a struggle.
I felt it. I thought I was effing the girl. I felt like I was doing it.
Is that the preferred way you would rather fornicate with a woman?
Oh, I mean, that type of
and
passion,
why?
Yes.
And why is it?
Because in that situation, they didn't care where they were at.
But it was chaotic because they were on the move. They were like bonding.
Yeah. But there was a bond within that. They had a struggle. They had a struggle in common, and all they had was each other. That makes the sex hot.
Yeah.
Police were coming after them.
It's trauma bonded and thrill.
She didn't even feel him at the beginning. Remember,
she wasn't feeling him until they realized they all they had.
Yeah.
See, that's chaotic. That's chaotic.
It's chaotic too.
It's like,
and the sex was great.
We got.
Like I got some. Yeah, but the sex, I could tell it was good because I'm like, we in the middle of this, whatever we are, in broad daylight, butt naked, in a hot ass car with them old leather seats. You know,
man, them jokers burn.
Yeah.
But like, I saw, she was beautiful. I hate to say this, black women, you are gorgeous, but it's like, really, the real you is when you naked. So when she just seeing her, man, that skin and the sweat, man,
but
I could smell it.
Yeah, man.
Terrible. but see, it's like it's that. Though.
Yeah.
It's those spaces, and people don't understand how hard, how difficult it is to say this doesn't serve me anymore. Being in a space where I have to fight every day to mentally stay at peace.
Right.
I know what chaos looks like.
Right.
That's the only reason I can understand what peace is. You have to know the opposite side of these things in order to be able to do it. Yeah. You know, peace and war, same thing. You know, chaos involves war. You know, you're fighting with something.
Yeah.
So in order to understand it, I have to be able to voice to this other side and see that and be like, okay, which choice am I choosing? Which one is the greater, the latter for me? Because I'm never going to say, here's a question. We always talk about peace and everything else. But what if a person was trained to be a killer? That's all they knew. That's all they grew up around. Because people always say good and bad.
Right.
Is that person wrong?
It could be. I mean, it's subjective based off of, because I think right or wrong is based on what you were indoctrinated with. Some people think that wrong is right.
Yeah, because he doesn't know anything else.
Yeah,
this is all he's been shown, and he doesn't have a eerie feeling about it. He's like, this is normal.
Yeah.
So how can I say he wrong?
Right.
That's all he knows.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because what if he ends up killing one of your family members?
And you mad?
You have to accept that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I can't be mad at him.
Even in that mist, you have to be like, this is all that man knows. I'm hurt.
Would you support his life sentence, or would you ask for him to have time shortened?
That's the law of the land on that one.
Oh, okay, all
right.
Well, the law of the land needs to think like that too. Then, that's all he knows.
But okay, let's talk about this. It's a nice segue into this question. So,
okay, talk to me.
Studies show that 60% of artists find it challenging to balance work and family. Yeah. Right. So how did you manage this balance in a way? Because we were talking about chaos, right? Now you have a son that raps. Now, should he rap? Do you feel fond of him if he does rap about chaos? Like, I don't know certain topics. You know, I haven't heard everything. But, like, how does that make you feel? Because you like Mike Tyson, he said that he didn't want his son to box. He said he laughed at him. He's like,
you don't know struggle.
You don't know struggle to rock. So to me, if you hear your son talk about that stuff, because it is popular in our community, like, how would you handle that? Like, how would you balance like that artistry mixed in with the real life?
My thing would be, it's always believability when it comes to things like that.
Okay.
It's like, have you been in any of these situations? And it's safe to say that he lived with his mother majority of the time, and I don't know what went on those sides of the fence.
Okay.
So this may have happened.
Yeah.
Who am I to say it hasn't? But it's my thing of, how are you creating this as a work of art outside of making it solace for you? Because that's the biggest thing, because I made music as a scapegoat. That's why when a lot of people ask me about my music, I was like, I don't listen to it. Because half the time it's from hurt.
Yeah.
I did my music from hurt. So why do I want to hear hurt after I'm done? Now I can listen to it because I'm in a different space. And I was like, I was rapping.
Yeah.
Right.
Rapping. But I had to get to, I tell people there's a graduation date for different things. When the album, because I was like, I probably never do music. That's one of the reasons why it took me so long to do my album. I was like, if I drop this, John, I probably never do music again. because it's like my graduation from this, because I know I've done it the right way.
Okay.
So now when I do music, it's based solely on the art. So you're not going to get a whole bunch of projects and stuff out of me now, because I have to dive from a different place now. I don't have hurt around me now.
Yeah.
So a guy asked me to do a song for him. I ended up going to the park and sitting under the moon for some hours before I could make a verse for him. I went to the mountains for one of my other guys. I was like, I got to go to the mountains to gain the energy from it. But people have to learn how to consume energy from different spaces that they live in now that helps them. And most people don't do that. So that's why you see a lot of artists, or not even just artists. One example, I always talk about him, Ricky Davis, that played football.
Okay.
He left football, went somewhere, got high as a kite, came back to football and tore them folks up, but they hated it. Because he chose to live in his way. They was like, all right, we'll give you this money, but you have to stop smoking. He said, well, y'all can keep that money. I'm finna go.
Yeah.
Now, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Dude there should be in the Hall of Fame.
Dang.
But he chose himself over that. He's like, I'm happier in this space. And most people are afraid to actually live. They feel like they have to stay in those chaotic spaces in order for them to be recognized and appreciated.
I would, you know what?
Now, do you feel that it's so far out, those spaces that somebody can be in? Like you got chaos, then you got serenity, right? But then there's that middle ground, because it's just, you're in a stage, you're in a certain season, right?
Right.
Like, I'm going to throw your boy in your favorite album, Electric Circus by Common.
Why he always, it's not my favorite.
But I'm just saying, why though? Why you listen? You are a big Common fan, but why can't you?
Why can't I listen?
That's
to it?
part of his growth, though.
I can't relate to that.
Well, why is
I can't relate to wearing featherball Kangos and mismatched clothes and.
I mean, he was smashing Erykah Badu. Right?
Yeah, I couldn't.
But Andre, you
at that time I didn't know he was smashing her at the time, but I just know. Wait a minute, there's a change in this album cover. Like this is not common sense.
So did you think it benefited him?
Hell no, because he never went back to that. Because right after that, he came out with that classic B album.
I was finna say B.
Never was the same.
Okay, that's why I was.
He broke away from that. No, you know, he did not. He came back to Common. He said, "I'm gone." That's
do
what
you
he
think
said.
he came back to Common, or he evolved to a different?
That's what I'm saying.
No, because I was going to do a breakdown about this, about Common's albums and stuff, but just to shorten it up, if you look at the album before B, and then that album before, the Electric Circus,
he can't stand the album.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at that, if you look at the albums that surround Electric Circus, it was Water for Chocolate, beautiful pieces, and then skipped over that Electric Circus, and then he came back to B. He didn't Mario hop. I did. That was me. I did that. Skip over Electric Circus. He came back to B. He finished what he was starting on Electric. See, I don't know. I rebuke thee, Electric Circus. Like Water for Chocolate, he finished it for me in B and just teamed up with Kanye West.
Okay,
I appreciated that because I'm like, that's the Common I needed back. I didn't care about anybody else. I just wanted Common back, and I felt like his soul got snatched.
Though.
No, he evolved. He evolved back to where he was supposed to be.
You mean so
he wasn't evolving? He went off track for a minute.
So let's talk about Kanye. You know, he had the 808 and Heartbreaks. You were like, But it was, he had to evolve from a death. That was
his pain. I feel it.
Right, but then he went back to the Graduation.
Thank you. No, Graduation was before that.
Okay, so what was the next album? It was
after Graduation.
Wasn't it the Black Skinhead? That was
no. You're right. After Graduation was that Pablo 2013.
Yeah, but
was that after 808?
808 was after Graduation. 808 was in 09, 10.
Okay, so Graduation was next.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was after 808.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So
the Pablo joint.
Right, then
the Pablo joint.
And then so with that, but you were going with his progression. He was going to a dark spot. But those are classic. Yes.
I appreciate some of the songs. Yeah,
you really liked it, right? But so you liked that direction, but you couldn't accept Common's direction.
No, I didn't say I liked his direction. There was a couple of there were some songs I liked on Beautiful Dark and 808s, but it never gave me the feeling of College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation.
But all those albums it was kind of like chaos, but with a good soul to it.
That's understood.
But then it still was chaotic. It still was chaotic.
No, that's cool.
Why couldn't you relate to those?
I really can't answer that because that's how my body just reacted to it naturally. I said, I didn't say. I mean, there were a couple of joints in the album I liked.
It's funny.
Yeah,
that's what.
My God.
But when he came back, well, I'm gonna say like everybody evolves, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like everybody still has that thing inside of them that's so universal and never changes. Is what keeps you liking that person, no matter which direction they go. I still believe in Kanye and the person that he is, and I feel like he's really gonna really come back.
He's already here.
I just feel like he's gonna. I just feel like he left something hanging after graduation.
It ain't coming.
Okay, that's cool. I hope he goes into activism. Yeah.
But
I know it's not coming
back. He's in the gospel. He's going.
Yeah, I don't want him to go back to sampling.
Donda,
doing that's cool. I mean, I just meant like. It's just deeper than music. It's a.
Well, yeah.
And energy. It's
still
a type
chaos, though.
Yeah, but
all that is chaos.
But all I can say is how I resonated with it. I just resonated different with his first 3 albums, and I like some other joints, but I didn't run that from front to back. After Graduation, I didn't run nothing from front to back on any of his albums. After that, I sure didn't. No.
So
it's rough.
I know it is.
I know it's hard, but I mean, but I know other people resonated with it because if you notice, white people started picking up on Kanye once 808 came.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody listened. They didn't understand the Graduation. I mean, I get that was a struggle, even though he was still. But I appreciate how he resonated with black people in his first 3 albums. Like, I got it. College Dropout made me want to finish college. Because I was already in that field of music and radio and television. You know what I'm saying? I said, I understand why he dropped out, but you're motivating me to keep going.
Yeah.
Weird, but...
I get it. He said that.
Love you, Kanye. You good, bro. I'm always going to have his back. I mean, he can be wrong. I'll be right for him.
Damn.
Wow. So, Art, let's talk about back to music a little bit. We talked about you being a family man and how you handled or balanced both artistry with family life. But let's talk about like artists today and how they make their money. I look up to you as a mentor, especially when it comes to the sync licensing and music licensing. Yeah. I fight with myself trying to be an artist, but yet it's like, do I really want to be in front of the camera or do I just really want to make the money and support my other endeavors, film, stuff like that. But like, can you really, with the rise of digital platforms, of course, music licensing has been crucial. With a 40% increase in streaming royalties, nobody knew that. When did you recognize that you should take that lane?
You start realizing it when you see that there's so many streaming areas, and the payouts that they give is beyond mediocre.
Yeah.
You start recognizing that they created a platform for it to be saturated.
Yeah.
It's completely saturated. Everybody felt like they could do this. So everybody did this. So now it's like, okay, what area can I go where it's not saturated like that? And people pretty much handpick what's going on. And that's the sync licensing area because they want specifics. They're not going with the overall, whatever the media says, whatever certain bloggers or whatever go with. And I'm not saying any names about artists. We hear it. It's the same across the board. Yeah. All of them sound alike. All of them sound the same. All of them got the same beats. All of it is just the same. You go over here, think about it. You look at a Coca-Cola commercial or look at a Subaru commercial or Even a commercial about a washer and dryer from somebody.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You hear the music and you like, it doesn't sound like what you hear on the radio
Right.
or this, that, and the other. That sync stuff.
Hmm.
They actually have music supervisors who pick the music for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Traveling. Even the music in the airports.
Mm-hmm. The gyms too.
The gyms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even certain Walmarts, Costco's, like you said, Gold's Gym, all
Sam's
of this.
Club,
They're picked, hand-picked. So this doesn't come with limelight. Are you popular? Or this, that, and the other. It could be a English teacher.
Yeah.
He got it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows him. He doesn't have a social media. I don't know what you call it. A presence. That's what it is. He doesn't have a social media presence.
Yeah.
But he got a song synced, and he makes money. Some woman who knits at home and just likes to make music on the side, she has something synced.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who she is, but she's made money. And it was one dude, I can't remember his name. He was like, yeah, Nike got exclusive rights doesn't mean that they own his song. It means that they have the rights to, move it around and get it, get money sold and all this for it. He still owns the masters or whatever. They pay me $100,000, not me. I'm talking about
Right.
$100,000 for it. Cool. He said they never used it. He said 4 years passed. They came back, wanted to re-sign the song, even though they never used it. Gave him another $100,000. So, song never seen light of day. He made $200,000 in 4 years.
Right.
Damn.
And how I look at it from them doing that is, obviously, as business people, they probably saw, okay, we're going to sit this in a pot for a minute. You feed them a little money because we know this is about to be. This is going to come back to us twice, thrice, 4 times fold. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it comes to this question I'm going to ask real quick because when you speak on that, as somebody that's behind the scenes in the music business too, would you tell an artist? How would you? What? Sometimes I feel like it's a battle as an independent artist. Sometimes to go with the flow, right?
Yeah.
Or just go with what you know. And in the sense of like, do you feel that you make more money focusing just on your target audience? Or do you make more money when they say, just make something for the people? Like, make something for everybody. You know what I mean? You know how you got the target audience and then there's just a song that, I'm pretty sure Drake's favorite song is not God's Plan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it broadcasted all over the world and he might have liked, a Tuscan Leather. You feel me? And that was for his target audience. What would you tell an artist like to go for when it comes to if you want to get a continuous stream of income? You know what I'm saying?
At that point, I have to ask this question: what strokes your ego more? Because most of them just want, and a lot of artists haven't had attention.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Their ego is focused on, I want all the attention I can get.
Do you want to share your story? Well, join us at Clean Cut Conversations. Let's talk mental health, relationships, finance, self-care, and entrepreneurship. Your voice matters, so let's make a difference together.
We're back. Like we were talking about basically independent versus major deals and the road that they should take.
Yeah. Having avenues. Yeah. And most don't look in the sync because most don't know either. And when they get to that point of knowing about that, because a lot of the major artists have certain sync things. Vince Staples has talked about that a lot. So that's a bigger thing. And I don't think if a person heard about what he was talking about with one of his albums where he made sure every song on there was able to be synced, he got that money personally. The rest of it, as far as the royalties and all of that, went to the label, but the payout in the front went to him personally.
Right.
And that's the reason why he did that.
It's not manipulated.
Yeah,
Like Snoop Dogg said he had 1 billion streams and it amounted to $48,000. He said, get out of here, man.
Yeah, but you have to look at all the people that were aligned with the song too. So
Right.
it wasn't just him solely. If it was just him solely, then that looks ridiculous.
But even that's still kind of like, think about selling 1 billion records outside of streaming. Let's say hard copy. You're going to get more money than that, even if everybody's involved, right? You're going to get more money than 4,800, even with everybody involved.
Yeah,
just like
even if
Blame It on the Alcohol had 13 writers, but each of those writers averaged $300,000 on Blame It on the Alcohol with Jamie Foxx. Yeah, 13 writers, and they all got paid in 6 figures.
Whoa!
But that was before that Digi hit real fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Digi, it imploded a lot of stuff.
But you have had a lot of success off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be in front of the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, it's more, if you always have to be in front of the camera, that's more of an ego issue you have. Because if you really about making your money, sync licensing is where it's at.
Absolutely.
That guarantee paycheck. Because I know, like, we made a contract. You're going to honor that, and I'm going to honor that.
Yeah.
I'm not relying on streams or manipulating streams like people be. I think a lot of Spotify had issues with that. We're not going to get deep into that. But, like, it's crazy that some of these people have millions of streams, and then when they go to hold a live event, like nobody shows up. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of embarrassing. That's
tough right there.
That is, man. So, like, to wrap things up, let's talk about, like, local artists in Memphis, upcoming artists in Memphis that you feel that you would endorse. Because, y'all have a lot of artists, but give me one artist that you're going to give the platform to.
As far as new artists, none.
What about Glorilla?
Glorilla already in her space,
But she's the queen of Memphis?
I guess, if they want to call her that. I ain't mad at it, but as far as this era, she probably is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give that. Because there's different eras. We know Gangsta Boo recipes.
Yeah.
Gangsta Boo was
the queen.
Girl,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Lil Chat, all of them. Crazy Lady recipes. All of that. But as far as these new artists, because all of them sound the same. Everybody's coming out sounding like somebody else.
How about this? To make you think a little more and make a better decision. Being that people sound like everybody else, what would it take for you? What would it take to get your attention from a new artist, to actually get your interest into endorsing them? Take into consideration that, okay, they don't sound like nobody else, but let's just say he doesn't have that Memphis. He just may be different, but it's dope. But he probably don't have that Memphis twang or dialect or whatever. But he's got dope music.
That's it.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, make dope music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People always want to categorize it because of, just like you said, the twang of
where you
the
from,
drawl or whatever. No, if you dope, you dope.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's it. You gonna say where you from? I'm from Memphis. Wow, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all made that type of music there. Okay, cool. Now we're inviting you into other realms of how we do
you feel that
stuff
there's
here.
a certain type of nepotism in the way you sound? Like you just said, like, man, he don't sound like that. I don't know if we can push that, man. He different.
Yeah,
like,
they a lot of
and he may be good.
Yeah, a lot of artists that I own, just like a guy named Mikey Fax. One of my other guys was rapping on one of his pages and stuff like that. That's from Memphis, and he was like, "Man, I don't want to hear all that rapidy rap. You need to rap like you from Memphis." Okay. See, they categorize it like that.
Gotcha.
But if you put them in front of a stage where nobody is looking at, is this person from Memphis? And they put on a dope show or whatever, that's it.
Yeah.
You just want to hear a dope artist.
Right.
At the end of the day. We don't want to always be like, I'm from Memphis, you know what I'm saying? This, that, the other, woo, 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 yada, yada. I'm like, get out of here. Are you cold at what you do?
Yeah.
Do you actually love the art that you're doing? Because that catapults anything. If you can hear the love of the art in the person, you're going to gravitate to them.
I dig it. I wish more artists would be like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I just had that little vision in my head, just what you just said, where, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, he's saying Cuban, man. He's supposed to be saying Cuban, man.
Yeah,
Cuban on Cuban.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, no, man, what is a Cuban, man? I don't know what that is.
They got so fascinated by that. When somebody, instead of saying music, like other people say, we say music. You know what I'm saying? How you say music? Music. I mean, you go to any hood in Atlanta, or Memphis or whatever, script.
Yeah.
You know, all that.
We got introduced to Merzik when we were dealing with Soulja Boy. Yeah. They got that Memphis to Batesville kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, what did they say, Josh?
Perkle.
Like, yeah.
Merle.
It was the R, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. Some people know how to pronunciate their words. Some people may not.
Yeah.
All right, why are you fascinated with this?
Right.
I guess because you look at folks in the hood from New York, they're proper. Folks in the hood from Cali, they're proper.
Yeah.
You know, their dialect is different. They pronunciate their words. So,
right.
Cool.
But let me ask you something. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So
okay.
What would you, I guess, how would you want to conclude this interview? What are some last takeaways that you would like to give our audience, especially like most of our artists is, of course, musicians, filmmakers, and just overall Black entrepreneurs. Like, what would you say to them overall?
Be passionate about what you do. If your passion is not in what it is that you do, that's it. There's nothing else that you can do because you won't push for it if you're not passionate about it. I don't know where your passion may come from. It may be to help your family. It may be to help yourself. It may be just to be notarized because you never got that notoriety. Whatever that passion is, push for that.
Yeah.
You know, in everything that you do. And you'll persevere if you're willing to do that. Outside of that, you know, understand that it's a process. Because most people think that if I do it this long, I should have been on. It takes a lot of people 10, 15 years before they actually get that light shined on them. And most people don't see that. It was like, because when they get introduced, up and coming. I've been doing this forever, a decade.
Right.
Up and coming.
I hate that.
I've been up.
Right.
I ain't gonna say the other word because he'll brag up off of it. You know, little nasty dude.
You saw that hand on the chin.
Yeah. But you have to look at that overnight success. This ain't overnight. I've been this blood, sweat, and tears. Well, they look at that part because they magnify that, and that's not it. You just have to do your work, though. Do your work, do your part, plan. Was it the P's, proper preparation? You know,
or
prevents poor performance.
You know,
not
proper instructions motivate people. You know,
So you got to be willing to do that. That's the biggest thing when it comes to it.
Oh wow. Well, we thank you for coming through, man, and everything.
I appreciate y'all, dog.
Now we appreciate you. You know, we had like over 2 decades getting there.
Right.
Getting there, life not already.
Yeah. I mean, we just hit the the 10-year mark. You know, with this guy. You know, we've had a wonderful relationship for going over a little 10 years. You feel me? Yeah. So you know, it's to the point where it's just, man. And I get the 10-year thing too if you do that with the music. You know what I mean? Like that time, like, okay, you break that threshold. The relationship that we have in those years that we've had I felt like we broke a threshold of just being comfortable, just like, we already know what he do. We know what he about, you know what I'm saying? And so we know how to prepare for it, vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. Vice versa.
I dig it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's it, man.
All right.
Appreciate your presence once again, bro.
Y'all, bro.
Already.
All right.